And it has begun. I'm going to show my video here. You guys, again, don't have to. And yeah, let me see. I'm gonna pull up the stream right now, see if it is working. Yup. Okay, I gotta retitle it though because it has the wrong title. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. What should we call this? Last drive. I'm gonna call it episode 6, week 3 recap.
Week 2 insanity. Week 2? Week 3 insanity.
No, well, yeah, and then week 4, I guess, prediction, but I'm not even gonna put that in the title because we'll probably do a separate one for that.
I mean, we're probably just gonna predict tonight's game and then do like another live stream Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, recapped and then predict it, yeah. Okay. So, let's get started, right? Just jump right on into it. First things first. KPM, can you tell me your record for predictions this week?
I went 13-3 with my predictions this week.
13-3. Wow, me too. So which ones did you get wrong?
The games I got incorrect were Seattle. I'll have to check the others. I know I got the Seattle one wrong.
Well, we both got the Chiefs game wrong.
I did pick the Bengals to beat the Steelers, though.
Yeah, that's a good one. So we both got the Chiefs-Chargers game wrong, right? Yeah. So we both had the Chiefs, so that one I got wrong. I did pick the Vikings over the Seahawks, so I was happy about that. I lost the Bengals one, so that was the second one I lost. And the third one I lost, let me check this right here. Oh yeah, I had the Patriots over the Saints. So that was the third one I lost right there.
Okay. I have to take a look through mine and see what I got.
Yeah. Oh, you picked the Giants, right?
Oh yeah, I picked the Giants, yes,
Shame.
And they choked.
Shame. We both picked the Rams, so that was a good pick. Who else did you get wrong? Oh, you picked the Seahawks probably, right?
Yeah, I told you I picked the Seahawks.
Alright.
So yeah.
What's good, everybody in the chat? So I say let's just go on with the recaps for all the games. So the first game, did we talk about the first game? I don't know if we did. I don't think we did, though. Panthers
Texans?
Yeah. Any thoughts?
I mean, I can't really give my input on this because I was at a college football game. I was at the App State Marshall game. So I can't really give my take on this.
Okay.
All I know, we lost J.C. Horn and Christian McCaffrey, so that's going to be 2 big losses for us for this season. But we were able to make up for it by fleecing the Jaguars for C.J. Henderson. So
that's true.
We should be fine defensively, but offensively, it's still going to be a question.
How long do you think McCaffrey's going to be out for?
Right now, the timetable is 4 weeks.
4 weeks. It's probably going to be longer than that, honestly. I mean, I don't know. With the injuries like that, it feels like it's going to be a little bit longer than 4 weeks. But, they still look pretty good. 24-9. We got, by the way, shout out to myself for predicting that exact score, 24-9. I don't know if you guys saw, but shout out to myself right there. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Panthers look good. The Texans really didn't. So Panthers are one of the few 3-0 teams. All right.
Yeah. Let's I want to give a quick shout out to Joey Sly. Came up clutch in that game with that missed extra point. Proved why we released him. So thank you, Joey Sly, for your amazing performance on Thursday Night Football.
Didn't you guys get Ryan Santanto or something from us and then waive him?
Yeah, we didn't want to give up that 7th round pick.
Yeah,
apparently.
Okay, we can move on to the next game now. I think before all the other games, we should talk about the Ravens-Lions game because we have the Goose TV in here. Hey, how you doing,
What's
Goose?
up? I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, but I know it probably hurts to talk about this game, but just what are your thoughts overall on this game as a whole? So the Ravens Lions, not just the ending, but how they played during the whole game, and then we'll get to the 4th and 20 as well. But.
Yeah. So overall, I thought the Lions actually played a pretty good game, especially defensively, which is something we've struggled with. I would think out of all the teams that we've played, I would think the Ravens would be the last one where we'd give up a small amount of points compared to all of our other games. But defensively, I thought it was a pretty good game. We kept Lamar in give him a lot of room to get out of the pocket and run around. Obviously, there's a few plays where he did, but he's Lamar. I think defensively we played pretty well. Offensively, needed a little bit more help. I think our offense really hasn't been our problem, but at the same time it is, because, Goff doesn't have any receivers to throw to. He also didn't throw to Hawkinson almost all game.
Yeah, Hawkinson.
That was because I have Hawkinson on my fantasy football, both of my fantasy football teams, my starting tight end. So that kind of sucked. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if the Ravens were double teaming him or what, or if the game plan was just not to pass to Hawkinson at all. But we don't have any receivers. People are injured too. So, but overall, I thought it was actually a pretty good game. I thought it was going to be wraps to actually win the game. First, at the end of the game, last drive, there was, we got it down. I think it was 4th and 19, and at that point, it's just kind of like, okay, like we're actually playing well. This drive's going well, and then I think we gave Lamar a little bit too much room to run around, and then too much time, and then he got that pass off, and I don't know if it was the linebacker or who it was. Our linebacker jumped up and just barely missed it.
Yeah,
I saw that, and it's just like, okay, well, I thought it would have been far out enough to the point where it's like, okay, which it technically really should have been far out enough to the point where we'd be fine, but obviously a little bit way too close for comfort. And then basically after that, obviously the delay game.
I was gonna say, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it was just because we were seeing the TV? Like, because you know how the game clock is something different than the TV. Do you think it was actually a delay of game, or it just showed?
So I thought at first that it was purely because it was off because, like what you just said, the TV isn't synced with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one thing MMG said was the fact that the TV one started at 35 seconds rather than 40. So that's why it was off. So there was actually more time. But I saw a clip on TikTok last night where it actually did start on 40. So it was actually, so like I said, it still could be off. I don't know if anybody has a clip of actually in game, like in the stadium, what it was. But to me, something that I saw that people have also shown is that the offensive lineman for the Ravens actually stood up for a second. There was a false start movement from the offensive lineman, and it was right as that 0-second hit on the TV clock. So my theory is it was 100% delay game. The lineman stood up, and from there, obviously, and then I don't know if you could call that intentional grounding. Some people were saying that. I'm guessing there was a receiver nearby, but just like all around, just kind of sucks. Like for the most part, like I don't want to complain about the refs too much. It is the Lions, but at the same time, the Lions also did put themselves in that place, in that position where they lost the game. Like it's a 4th and 19. You should stop it at that point. Obviously, regardless, the refs, the outcome would have been different, but at the same time, still sucks. And then the field goal, there's nothing you can say about that. Like it's the Lions' way to lose, and you can't even be mad about it. Like you have to say, okay, that's an amazing kick. But it would only happen to the Lions.
The fact that it doinked in, like Cody Parkey is taking notes right now. He is writing down in his little notebook. I just can't believe that. Like when I saw it, I was watching Red Zone, right? And so I kind of saw it live, like not live because I wasn't there, but I didn't watch. I mean, I did watch the highlight afterwards, but I was seeing it as it was happening. Hey, what's up, Aaron? And so I don't know, just watching that kick, it's like it's from 66 yards. Okay, there's no way they're making this. It hit the, it doinked. Hit the thing. I was like, oh my god, he missed it, and then it bounced in, and the facial expression from Justin Tucker made my day. I mean, that was so cool to see.
I mean, you like, even as a Lions fan, you can't even be mad. Well, I mean, you can be mad, but at the same time, it's still very cool to see that. But yeah, it's the Lions' way to lose. It was disappointing. but I think at the same time it was still a pretty good game. A lot of positives came from it, and I'm just even rest of the season. I know we're not going to win much, but just to be able to see, we have a super young a super young team in general. So I'm excited to just see Swift is having a good season already. Excited to see Hawkinson progress and just see the rest of the team and everything. But still disappointing, but definitely a lot of positives too.
If you go back and watch the replay of that kick that Tucker made, you see as he's trying to step into the kick, he does a little bunny hop type of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like if he doesn't do that, he doesn't get enough momentum to even get it close to the crossbar.
Well, I was watching, I think on the Pat McAfee show, they were talking about like how Justin Tucker spent a year changing his form for some of these longer kicks that he has to just kind of run into instead of slowly getting it. I don't know, it was a whole thing. It seemed cool, I guess. Just in case he had to kick that longer kick. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to say that your Lions remind me a lot of my Giants this year. We have that running back, but we don't really have a team, and we blow the lead a lot. Like, so many similarities.
Well, I mean, you do got to keep this into perspective that the Lions weren't even expected to be in that game. What was it, like 16-0 at one point in that game? It was a double-digit game at one point. They came back and took the lead very late.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were even in that game was a miracle in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's still a positive for sure. Like, I think it was actually a pretty good game, and we probably deserved to win. But
All right. Well, that is our in-depth about the Lions Ravens. Thank you, Goose.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
That insight. It was good to hear from a fan's perspective, especially one as committed as you. So. Yeah.
If you want to stay with us and talk about the rest of it, you can. I mean, just
I probably gotta head out.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
I mean, we're all on the clock, I'm definitely.
All right, before you go, Goose. Before you go, who's winning tonight? Jaguars or Bengals?
Oh yeah, we can talk about this.
Bengals. Bengals easy.
By how much? I mean, the spread. The spread is
score prediction.
The spread is 7.5, I believe, in favor of the Bengals. So would you take like an over, an under, or what do you think?
I'm taking an over. I think the Bengals are actually playing pretty well, especially like Jamar Chase and the Joe Burrow connection is looking great right now. I'm saying final score of 27-14.
Okay, that's solid, and I'll share my prediction now because I kind of wrote it down because I wanted to be ready, but I also think the Bengals are gonna dominate. I have the Bengals 38-17, so a bit more of I think that
I like it.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I don't know if T. Higgins is playing. He might not be, but Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon's been playing great.
Yep.
So I think this team is just gonna roll over the Jaguars, especially since they're playing the Jaguars. Out of all teams, so yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Goose. Hope to see you after the Lions win next week, maybe.
Hopefully. Yep. Hopefully.
Do you know who they play?
Bears. Should be a dub, but we'll see.
All right.
As long as you get pressure on Justin Fields, it should be a pretty easy dub.
Yep.
He might not even be playing though. After how he played last week, they really don't know between Dalton, Foles, or Fields. Like, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for coming on. And,
appreciate it.
All right, let's discuss some. Oh, actually, before we move on, since we're already talking about the game tonight, KPM or anybody else here, you guys want to talk about your thoughts about tonight's game? Bengals versus Jaguars.
Yeah,
Bengals
I don't know. Don't be fooled. I don't think the Bengals are going to steamroll the Jags. Actually,
really,
I think they'll win, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's going to be it's going to be a bad win. It's going to be an ugly win.
Do you think the Jags will cover the spread? Because the spread's 7.5, meaning that if the Bengals win by 7, then you would win if you bet on the Jags. Like, that's how the odds
work, so. I would go for like a 17-7, 17-10, like in that range. That's where I would go for the score. I don't think it's going to be high score.
17-10 would be 7-point difference, which if you bet the Jags, then you'd win. But 17-7 That's a 10-point difference. So you're like right on the cuffs. Okay.
Pick the spread.
Yeah.
Pick on the spread. Who are you going with, Aaron?
I don't know what that means.
The spread is 7.5.
I'm going to say Jaguars, and I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be very close tonight. I think with the way that the Jaguars played last week against the Cardinals, they actually played good against the Cardinals up until about halfway through the third quarter when Trevor Lawrence just imploded on that little flea flicker play and threw a pick six.
I mean,
so if Trevor Lawrence can limit his mistakes tonight and make some plays, I think it's going to be close. And I'm going to say the final score is going to be 20-17.
Really? Okay, well, I just want to say one thing. Like, the fact that the Cardinals did win 31-19, which seems like a 12-point game. But if not for the fact that the Cardinals tried to take a 68-yard field goal, and Jamal Agnew is just a freak of nature, it would have been 31-12 instead of 31-19. If not for that, it's like the Jags' offense just doesn't seem.
While we're on that topic,
I couldn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
The missed field goal, the Cardinals lost. Just saying. I want to throw that out there also.
So you're trying to say that the Vikings aren't the only team that misses field goals?
I guess.
You know what's so funny though? The Vikings kicker is actually, he has the 5th most points for kickers in fantasy, which just blows my mind because he's not that good. But
he's awful.
And he's averaging 11 fantasy points. I mean, what is this?
No, I mean, he's been alright.
Okay. Oh, I just want to say, and now this may be completely random, but out of the 5 first-round rookie quarterbacks, for this year, now we haven't seen a lot of some of them, but we've seen a lot of some of them, and I don't know. What do you guys think? How are they looking? Are any of them looking like they could be good? Are they looking terrible?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really too much. I mean, I guess Mac Jones is still bad, but I mean, I don't think he's the worst.
I'm just saying that from watching these games, all of them look bad.
Yeah,
like Trey Lance.
They all look bad. Yeah.
Trey Lance hasn't gotten many snaps, but when he has gotten snaps, he's been helping out. Not really as a quarterback, more as like a quarterback running back hybrid sort of thing.
Like a Taysom Hill,
Kind of. Yeah, but I mean, it's working, right? And I know they lost to the Packers, but that was a close game. Basically, Trey Lance is doing what they want him to do right now. The rest of the quarterbacks, I mean, I don't know, it's bad. Like if we did a redraft right now of the draft, I don't think Trevor would go 1. Maybe Lance at 1, but I don't even know if I'd take a quarterback. Because if we did a redraft for this draft, you still have Minshew on the Jags, so I don't know if you try to reach for a quarterback now that you see what they can do. I mean,
I think it's too early to label quarterbacks as busts.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. I mean, like guys like Peyton Manning didn't have a good rookie year, but they still.
I mean, let's think of it from this perspective. We're only 3 weeks in the NFL season. We're already trying to debate who's the worst rookie quarterback. I mean, sure, we got some statistics to try and show who's been the worst quarterback right now, but let's be honest. Some of these quarterbacks are playing for much significantly worse teams than others are. Mac Jones is probably playing for the best team outside of Trey Lance. Trey Lance doesn't get much playing time.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to say that these guys are bad.
And Zach Wilson, those 2 teams will probably be competing for the number 1 pick yet again because they look awful.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to say these guys are busts. I'm just saying they're not showing up yet. They're not. I mean, they have potential. They're just not showing it yet.
But you got to look at their situation, though, Brent. I mean, look at Zach Wilson's, for example.
I know.
His offensive line is extremely terrible. Justin Fields' offensive line is terrible. Trevor Lawrence's offensive line is terrible. I mean, they all don't have like significantly good receivers instead of Fields having maybe Allen Robinson. But I mean, he can't get the ball to the receiver if he got no time to throw the ball.
I would argue the best rookie quarterback right now, Kellen Mond. Right now, it's Kellen Mond.
Is he even playing?
No, but it doesn't matter. He's still the best. He can still be the best.
Oh yeah, the best rookie quarterback, definitely Ian Book. Yeah, definitely.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he was from Notre Dame. I don't even know who drafted him, but they reached on him, whoever did. He was supposed to be like 7th round quarterback, and he was taken like 5th or something. I don't know who it was. Anyways, welcome Finn's in the chat, by the way. Okay.
He needs to get in here.
No, he said he can't. But I think we brush up on all the games from the past week quickly. I don't think we go too far in depth on them. But Bengals Steelers, thoughts on the game? I mean, what did we think about that?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody's talking about how the Steelers were back after they beat the Bills. I just got to ask you one question to all the people that said that quote or just talked about the Steelers being good. What the heck were you thinking? Let's be honest. Ben Roethlisberger is beyond washed. I mean, he looks worse than 2015 Peyton Manning at this point.
It's bad, but I mean, would you say the Steelers are bad, or like, would you at least give some credit to Cincinnati for playing good? I mean,
some credit, but the Steelers
like,
also
there's a lot of talk about how bad Big Ben is, but no one's really talking about how the Bengals were good that game.
Well, I like this Bengals team. I do. I mean, I like the offense a lot. The defense, not as much, but it's still decent. I like this Bengals team. So, I gotta be honest, though. I didn't pick the Bengals. I thought the Steelers would win. And I didn't...
Of course.
I didn't think it would be close, but I didn't think it would be, like, it'd destroy them. But, yeah, I didn't really give this Bengals team a chance. And if the Bengals were playing... I don't know if the Bengals were playing somebody like the Broncos or the Niners or the
Bengals. The Bengals played good enough to win.
Yeah.
If they really wanted, if they played like outstanding football, they would have beat the Steelers by 28 to 35 points.
I think that
they made a lot of mistakes, but I mean they played good enough to win the game.
I think the Bengals could definitely. I don't know. You think if they play one of these good teams, they might not win. Now, I'm not saying the Steelers are good, but I'm saying...
I heard you throwing Broncos, Brent. I heard you throwing Broncos. Listen. They're 3-0. Who have they played, and who did they beat? The worst teams possible.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying if the Bengals played the Broncos, I'd pick the Bengals. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like I'm still picking the Bengals, right?
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying put the Bengals against somebody better than the Jaguars, but not super high up, and maybe I'd take them. That's also why you see the Chiefs higher than the Broncos on everybody's power rankings, even though the Chiefs are 1-2, and the Broncos are 3-0, because the Chiefs are still like 6th on the power rankings, and the Broncos are probably like 10th or something maybe, because of who they played, because what we know about the teams,
Are they for real? Do you think they're for real? I'm sorry, I gotta say no. I'm gonna say no, they're not. I mean, you can.
We have to see what they do against some good competition. Who they play?
Wait, no.
What, the Raiders this week?
Oh wait, are we talking about the Raiders?
The Broncos.
We're talking about the Broncos.
Yeah, okay. Because I like this Raiders team. The Broncos are decent, but I think the Broncos are really like a 9-7 team. I think the Raiders could be.
They're like a 7-8 win team, honestly.
I looked at the schedule. I have them 9-7. The Raiders, though, I think they can get 11.
They play the Ravens this week, so we'll get to see how good the Broncos really are this week against the Ravens.
That's a good test.
But we're not talking about the Week 4 matchups just yet, except for the Bengals Jags. That is in another episode. But this is all about the Week 3 recaps. And okay, I guess speaking of the Broncos, let's talk about the Broncos Jets game. Not much to say, but we'll talk about it anyways. I mean, wasn't it like 26-0 or something?
Honestly, I did not watch a snap of the game. I don't know anything that happened, but I mean they won.
Yeah, well, it
Whoa.
was.
Hey, what's up,
It's
BP
one of
70?
those games where you just
That's
fall
what
asleep in
happened.
the fourth quarter.
Something
I
happened.
BP
Yeah, like
BP.
they
I
won a
meant
game
9
they
and
were
8.
supposed to.
BP. I meant 9 and 8, not 9 and 7. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I meant 9 and 8 when I said for the Broncos.
That's fine. That's an excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's a little generous, but I mean,
I looked at
we'll
the
see.
schedule, man. That's what
We'll
I think.
see.
Based on the competition they're playing. Now, I'm not... Because I looked at each game, thought, are they going to win this game? Are they going to lose this game? You know. Anyways, yeah, Broncos 26-0 win. We don't really have to talk about that. They played the Jets.
That's it, because like they just beat the team they were supposed to. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we need to talk about. How about another maybe surprising, maybe not surprising 3-0 team? The Vegas Raiders. They play the Dolphins and they won in overtime. What do we think?
I
Are we
would
buying
give
into
them
the hype?
a little bit more credit.
Are we
I would give
buying
them more
into the
credit
hype?
for Broncos. Definitely.
Yeah, Derek Carr hype? What do we think?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who's
He's
the
played
number
good.
one?
He's got. Listen to this. He's been like off the charts, insane with his passing stats this year. He's got 1,203 yards passing through 3 games.
And who is the number one wide receiver in Vegas right now?
I don't even know. It might be Hunter Renfrow.
I was about
or
to say
Henry
that.
Ruggs.
It could be Ruggs. It could be Renfrow. I don't know. I just
Heck, it might be Darren Waller. They might be lining Darren Waller up in the slot.
I mean, he's the tight end though. I wouldn't consider him wide receiver but I know what you mean. Their number one target in that offense is probably Waller, but their best receiver, it's not really like they have a number one. It's just they have so many options. Like they have Renfrow, they have Ruggs.
It's Renfrow. It's
not
Renfrow.
Ruggs. Okay.
It's not.
I mean, they have Renfrow, they have Ruggs, they have Zay Jones, they have Brian Edwards. They probably got somebody else that I'm not even thinking of right now. I mean, they've got a lot of options here.
And this past week, they were able to win without Josh Jacobs, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and
especially since Josh Jacobs has been a pretty good amount of their offense.
And we all thought Kenyon Drake would be the leading rusher while Josh Jacobs was out. But Peyton Barber was really he surprised me a lot. He had some good runs for sure. Former Washington football team running back last year. By the way, he was in like a committee with them last year. Didn't really play great, and then he just went off this past week. So, good for him.
How much yards did he get? How much yards did he get? Or touchdowns?
How many yards? That's a good question, actually. I'm not even sure. I just know I was watching him have like back-to-back 15-plus yard games. Or not back-to-back, but like some good gains. Let me look. Peyton Barber, 23 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, and then 3 catches for 31 yards. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So he had 142 scrimmage yards. 23 fantasy points. Good for him. Yeah, Zay Jones. Yeah. I mentioned him. What about the Dolphins on the receiving? Or Zay? My bad. Okay. What about the Dolphins on the receiving end? What about Jacoby Brissett?
He stepped in well to be put in the circumstances that he has. Let's be honest. The Dolphins should have won this game. If it weren't for who calls a bubble screen on their own 1 yard line? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
How dumb do you have to be to call a bubble screen on the 1 yard line? That was actually the first play in NFL history that was a safety just off a pure passing play without a fumble, without any mistakes whatsoever. The first play in NFL history that has resulted in a safety off a pass play.
Oh, are you talking about the one to Jalen Waddle in the end zone and he just got rocked? You talking about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of weird to see a team do that and criticize them for that play and then turn around and say that they should have won the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the game went to overtime, the game went to overtime, so either team could have won. But
not true. Overtime rules are awful.
I agree with that though. Overtime rules are awful. Isn't it like if you score a touchdown then that's the game over? And like what if one team is really good on offense but bad on defense, or vice versa? and they get to defend first, or they get to have offense first. Like, it changes the game completely. Like, if you're talking about a team like the Chiefs with real good offense, but not so great defense, and you give them the ball first, they could win the game. But if you give the other team the ball, they could lose the game because their defense may be a liability. So it's just so twisted.
All right, so what else we got to talk about?
Okay, we don't even have to talk about all of these, but let's just pick and choose the best one. Now, I think the Bucks Rams one. We can talk about we can talk about the Vikings one. Should we talk about the Vikings one? I mean, I just want to say. Oh, hold on. I just want to say that I did predict the Vikings to win this game. Shout out to Aaron.
Let's go.
I mean, I was looking at this matchup, right? And the Seahawks were the favorite. They were 1-1. Vikings were 0-2. But the Vikings were probably the most underrated 0-2 team I've seen for, for this year, definitely. But for a little while. So I was like, this 0-2 team is actually pretty good against the Seahawks team that has no defense. Okay, I'm picking the Vikings. I mean, this team is just pretty good, and even though Dalvin Cook is out, and I actually don't think I even knew that at the moment, but he was out, and Alexander Madison, maybe you gotta get a jersey. I mean,
stepped up, bro. He had
unlike last year.
He had over 100 yards, right?
Yeah, and I actually started him over Deebo Samuel in my fantasy league in the flex spot. So glad I did.
He showed up.
Yeah, but 23 fantasy points.
Listen, we held Russell Wilson and Metcalf and Carson to 0 in the second half. I think that's a really big thing too. 0 points the entire second half.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I just wanted to say even though I predicted it, I was still impressed when it happened, especially without Dalvin Cook. I mean, and what about Kirk Cousins? I mean, he's looking to be a solid quarterback. And we all thought, he's just average. Yeah. He's looking pretty good.
I mean, we'll see in prime time again. But I mean, he's been fine. He's been good.
Bet you're pretty happy after that game.
I'm not gonna lie. I stopped watching the game after the first quarter. I just stopped watching.
That's
yeah.
That's not appropriate fan behavior, Aaron. That's not very appropriate fan behavior.
We're 0-2. I'm mad. I'm tired of.
Hey. My team is 0-2, but we're like 50 times worse, and I still watch basically the whole game.
Yeah, but there's talent. I'm sorry.
There's the Vikings. Then there's 50 piles of trash. And then there's my Giants. I mean, it's not fair. And I still watch the game.
Listen, I mean, I would rather not watch it than go through another Cardinals heartbreak loss. Like, I watched that entire game.
That was funny ending. I liked it. And the fact that in the recap of the game, they showed the missed kick twice.
I mean, let's be honest.
That's my soul. I mean,
they showed it twice.
Yeah.
The kick is good. No, he missed it.
Yep. And then they showed it again in the. Oh my goodness, that was funny.
Yeah, man. It was pretty good. It was pretty golden.
All right.
We're better than the Packers. Just want to say that. We're better than the Packers.
Shall we talk about this Packers-Niners game? Now we do have Jam 21 in here. We do have Jam 21 in here, so I'd like to hear his opinions first.
Before we do, relating to the Vikings game, I think the NFC North has to be the most underrated division because of the Vikings and because of the Lions.
But the Bears look
between
bad.
The two of them, and they have played pretty solid football.
The Lions are definitely underrated. The Lions.
I mean, that coming from a Packers fan is very hard to believe, man. Like, that's... You rarely hear a Packers that actually give props to the division rival.
I think that the AFC West is the most underrated, I'd say. I mean, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders.
Nobody's underrating the Chargers or the Chiefs. Everybody knows they're good. Maybe the Chargers
Chiefs aren't
underrated.
The Chiefs are not underrated, but the Raiders are. I mean, even 3-0, and they're still underrated. The Chargers, even with that win, still underrated.
I think it's a lot easier for an 0-3 team to be underrated than a 3-0 team. So I'm gonna go ahead and disagree.
Maybe there's a reason they were 0-2. Maybe they are underrated. Maybe because,
I'm not saying that
maybe because they have a bad kicker, or maybe because they have an inconsistent kicker. It doesn't make him underrated. It just makes him a liability. So maybe because of the kicker situation, they're ranked less because he's not as clutch. I don't know.
Wait for
Hey, Aaron,
anyway,
you guys
I'm still thinking
Graham
about
Gano?
KPM trying to attack me for whatever reason or whatever he said.
I wasn't trying to attack you.
Aaron,
I'll trade you.
Aaron, we'll trade you Graham Gano for.
I literally said it's not often that you hear Jan complimenting division rivals.
I'll trade you.
I don't think you've been listening. I've been praising Stafford my whole life.
Oh well, I guess me and Brent can have our.
I'm talking about the teams in general, not just one player.
Can't have our conversation. Aaron, I'll trade you Graham Gano for either Kirk Cousins or like 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Right, fair enough.
It doesn't matter what kicker it is. I mean, we have a curse. It doesn't matter. It can be any kicker.
Justin Tucker?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, Justin Tucker. It doesn't matter.
What if you did have Justin Tucker? I mean, I think he'd be pretty good.
Yeah, no. Doesn't matter. We had Dan Bailey, one of like the top greats ever, and he missed a lot. I think that was like his first performing year was with us, which is hard to believe.
Yep. All right. So back to this Packers-Niners game. I didn't hear all your thoughts. Anybody?
Well, the team that should have won the game. It was pretty obvious that the officials wanted to lean towards the 49ers winning the game.
Yeah.
And my question is this. How does Devontae Adams, a defenseless receiver, get hit like that in front of an official and a flag's not thrown? Literally looked like Vontaze Perfect-esque because he could have literally paralyzed him with that hit. It was also targeting as well. So, I mean, it was a combination of a personal foul, targeting. How do you miss that?
I must have not seen it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the Packers definitely deserved that win. But I gotta say though, they had an early lead and then they were kind of choking it, and then they survived. But
yeah. They kind of fell apart there before half, especially with that kick return. And then they let them score before half, which they took a lot of momentum with them to half.
I mean, at the end, though, 49ers should have won. They left too much time on the clock. I mean, 37 seconds is a lot of time for Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. That's still too much time.
If the Packers lost the game, if Rodgers didn't complete those 2 passes, if Crosby didn't make the field goal, if they only gained 15 yards, would we be saying that, or would we say, thank God they didn't score with a minute left or a minute and a half left, thank God it was only 37 seconds, which wasn't enough? I think so. I think we're only saying it was too much time because it was too much time because the Packers were able to win the game. So I don't think you can place too much blame on the Niners. Yes, maybe they could have done some things differently to run out the clock, but there is no guarantee that they're going to score. Their priority is take the lead. That's what they did. That's what they needed to do.
Well,
Secondary priority.
When they took the lead with 37 seconds left, I automatically knew that was way too much time for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, let's be honest. We've seen him do it countless times before. We remember the NFC divisional against the Cowboys where he made that insane throw to Jared Cook on the sideline, and Jared Cook made probably in my opinion, one of the greatest catches in playoff history because, my God, the insanity of that catch was it's just hard to imagine how you can make that catch in bounds But if it weren't for seeing all the Hail Marys, from seeing all the times he's been able to score late in these games with little time left, you knew that regardless of how much time was left on the clock, the Packers still have some sort of a chance.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I just want to say shout out to Rob DeBeach24 for the 99-cent dono in the chat. Let's go.
Hey, let's go.
Looks like everybody's getting 25 cents tonight.
Oh yeah. Just just send me your Venmo.
I can go get me a gumball for that. Let's go.
I got you. Hey. Okay.
I'm gonna add a few more things. First of all,
okay.
From a source that honestly I don't trust, it said that in total in this game, there were 25 points added to the 49ers' favor because of the officiating. I think that's unreliable, but it is obvious there were calls that weren't correct.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to address is what KPM was talking about at the start. About the hit on Devontae, he asked a question. I'd like to provide an answer. How can you not call that a penalty? And you also said that it's targeting. I don't think that should ever be called targeting. It was a hit with his shoulder to Devontae's chest in which the heads made contact because they exist. It was not called a penalty, likely because the official that should have called that was positioned between the quarterback and the receiver instead of on the, between the receiver and the end zone. So he didn't have maybe as good of an angle and didn't see the play the way that we're able to on TV. That's the best answer that there is. I think he still saw it and should have called a penalty. Yeah, that's his job. But that's actually like an official's thing that they've changed is the positioning of that guy on the field.
Right, but even that, still throw a flag and then review it. But at least you still have the flag.
Yeah,
I think that's reviewable.
Exactly. Really?
Yeah, I don't think you.
I always thought that they made targeting reviewable in the NFL.
I don't know if it is, but also shouldn't be targeting.
I don't think it's targeting, but I don't know.
And then another thing about the Packers lost. Oh my God, they suck. Giving up the 17-point lead and it became a 3-point game. Rodgers didn't touch the ball at all. The offense never had the ball. That was a kick return, a touchdown with officiating help, and then a touchdown out of the half. Can I? Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
You kind of interrupted me in the middle of my paragraph.
So rude.
I'm interrupting his TED Talk.
We can try to speak one at a time. That's all.
We should add a family, a Jeopardy buzzer.
You're wasting more time explaining what happened. You could have just
what?
Finished
explaining what I was explaining, which I already did while you were talking.
You didn't finish. You didn't explain. You didn't finish.
I didn't finish because you didn't hear me because you were talking. Okay. Anyway,
moving on.
If you're the head coach, another scenario, another question.
Moving on.
If you want to run more time off the clock, you're the Niners on their last possession. What happens if Cow Juicy Juice falls down at the 1-yard line and then you run the ball twice, get stopped, timeouts, whatever, and you can't score a touchdown? What happens if there's a fumble? What happens if there's an interception? What happens if you get stuffed? What happens if you don't score? Then what? Then what are you saying?
Is that rhetorical? Can I answer? Or
no, I want to know because then that is not good. Would you rather get beat by doing that, trying to shave time off the clock, or get beat by Rodgers in 37 seconds?
We've always seen where teams try to do that late game scenario where they're trying to chew down the clock before they score, and it backfires on them because you get penalties or you have someone turn the ball over, or the defense stands up and makes a play. My philosophy is if you're going to score, you score when you can score. Seriously, Juszczyk scored because he was given the opportunity to do so and he did it. And if he doesn't, that probably doesn't put the 49ers in a position to possibly win that game.
So then should you be saying they left too much time on the clock in a way that discredits or
I wouldn't say they left, and I wouldn't say they left too much time on the clock. I mean, in the NFL, if you're given a chance to score late and you're down by 6 points, you've got to score, regardless of how much time's on the clock. I mean, like, it's been done so many times in NFL history where, people just try to run down the clock and it backfires. So, I mean, you got to, if you're given the opportunity to score, take it. I mean, especially with how good the 49ers defense played in that second half. They played good for that second half, only giving up 10 points. They had momentum going their way. But they just played too soft defensively on that last drive. Especially that first play. That first play set the tone for that drive, for the field goal drive for the Packers. When Rodgers was able to fit the pass just over the San Francisco linebacker to Devontae Adams near midfield.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, on a 3-play drive, I don't know if there is time to really, it's not 3 plays, 6 plays technically. If there's really time to set a tone, it just needs to happen. And if it happens, it does. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't. I don't think that first play did anything for the second 2 passes.
All right, well, I think it's a good time to move on to perhaps the next game. So, I don't know, which one do you guys want to talk about?
I don't have anything super specific, but I think Rams Bucks would be interesting.
Rams, Bucks, or Chargers and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Or Cowboys.
I'll go Chargers Chiefs so I can just trash on Mahomes for 5 minutes.
You want to do your little Patrick Mahomes fanboy impersonation real quick?
No, they're in hiding right now because they lost.
Whoa, wait, you got to do like a impersonation of them defending Patrick Mahomes doing that no-look pass that got intercepted by
Breaking news out of Kansas City today, all Chiefs fans are in hiding after their loss on Sunday to the Chargers. These are fair weather fans, for example, OG Aaron. They are in hiding because their team lost. They will reemerge Saturday night through Sunday morning as we approach their next competition, hoping for a win. But I personally am not, because I love seeing them in hiding. Thank you. Back to you, Carol.
Well then, that was Aaron, you got anything to say about that?
I'm okay. See,
Mr. Turn the game off after we're losing.
Listen.
I want everybody in chat to write an L for OG Aaron. L in chat. Everybody L in the chat right now.
Let's get some L's in the chat for OG Aaron. For being an L.
Right, listen. Okay? Alright, hold on.
Wow, the chat is really going off with these L's. Appreciate it, everybody.
Just gonna get that chat rate up sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
Continuing with the game.
Continuing with the Chargers versus the Chiefs game, Justin Herbert, I mean, my goodness. He's been almost invisible the past 2 weeks, but this past week, I mean, my God, he came to play. Mm-hmm. He was torching the Chiefs.
He showed up.
And let's talk about how gutsy it was to go for it on 4th and 9 late in that game. Because the Chargers knew in order to beat the Chiefs, you have to score a touchdown late and make them go to the end zone that late. And them converting that 4th and 9 set the tone for them winning that game. I mean, you get that 4th and 9, you almost guarantee yourself to win that game if you can score. And that's exactly what they did. They scored with, 20 seconds left in the game. so gave Mahomes literally no time to really do anything.
Hang on a second. I mean, this is like the same situation as the Packers game, where they left time on the clock, and I think this was a less risky situation for the Chargers than it was for the Niners, because they only needed a field goal to take the lead, if my memory is correct. So they could have kneeled twice or whatever and then kicked a field goal, but they scored with however much time left.
They went with it on 4th down with like a minute left because they felt like if they would have scored a field goal, it gave Patrick Mahomes way too much time to go back down the field.
They were in field goal range for that, I don't think.
They were at the 33-yard line, which would have been a 50-yard field goal. I'm not sure how good their kicker is, but an NFL kicker should be able to make it from 50.
Oh, well, they have a new kicker this year. His last name starts with a V. I don't really know. He's alright. I mean, he's not bad. But Bagley was terrible for them last year, so they had to get a new guy. I'm not really...
Didn't they call him like the Money Badger, too?
I don't know.
I think I saw somewhere that like if the Browns didn't botch that punt, we keep their 0-3, which is crazy. It would be 0-3 without a botch punt in the Browns. That's what I saw.
I don't know. Even if they didn't have the botched punt against the Browns, I still think it's a 2-point game at that. It's a 2-point game at that point. I mean, it's still anybody's game. I don't know if a botched punt really makes much of a difference, but who knows?
I'm going to go ahead and say it does.
Because at that point, the offense was pretty much humming. They were just going down the field at will.
Yeah. Well.
Chiefs overrated?
I don't know. I mean...
I don't think they're overrated. I just think their defense is terrible.
I think their team as itself is a little bit overrated just because we all know their offense is great. But their defense being bad... People know it's not as good as their offense, but they don't know the gravity of it. Like, they really don't know how bad the defense is. So, they're a little bit overrated in the fact that people are higher on the defense than they should be. But I still think they're really good, and they're going to make the playoffs, get that, 1 or 2 seed probably. But we'll see.
So, yeah. That's
So,
what's the other game that we were thinking about talking about? Was it
okay.
Bucks and Rams?
Yeah.
All
right. We can do that one. And then I think after that one, we talk a little bit more about the Thursday game, and then that's probably gonna be it because I want to go, hang with the boys before the game. But
I don't want to Cowboys.
Or we could do the Cowboys. Choose one.
I'd rather do the Bucks and Rams. That was a better game, at least. Yes.
I don't know.
I'd honestly prefer...
The Cowboys and Eagles game was never in question.
I prefer not to talk about the NFC East because I'm very sad. So.
Oh, yeah.
Bucks and Rams.
Okay.
Let's talk about that one.
Bucks and Rams.
Sad Giants fan here.
All right, I'm down. Bucks and Rams. Okay, what did we see?
Whoa, we got Fins in the Discord call. What's up, Fins?
I think with the Bucks and Rams game, we got to see. We really got to see what Matthew Stafford could do in big games, and he was a little rusty in that first quarter, but afterwards, like, he looked amazing. I mean, he was tearing up the Buccaneers defense.
I think it solidifies the fact that Cooper Kupp is his favorite go-to wide receiver. So the fact is that he doesn't like Robert Woods as much as Jared Goff liked Robert Woods. Like, that, we know that. So, I mean, Cooper Kupp has been crazy good, right? He likes Robert Woods as much as he likes Van Jefferson. It's crazy how much the difference is. And so I just think this offense... And he also likes Higbee a bit, too. So, I mean, this offense is crazy good. Even with no Darrell Henderson this past week, they were still able to win because against the Bucs, you don't run the ball, you pass the ball, and that's really their strength. And not only that, but the Rams have a pretty good defense as well. And so Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, they're able to come through for this Rams team.
I was actually surprised that they didn't take Brady out late in that game because he was starting to get banged up pretty bad by that defensive line. That defensive line constantly got in his face there in the fourth quarter. Aaron Donald sacked him, I think, one time, but also hit him another couple times as well. So, I mean, he got hit quite a bit.
I mean, I don't think Brady ever wants to go out of the game, though. Like, Brady wants to stay in the game. Yeah. That's really what I think. He's not coming out of the game. And, okay, this topic we're going to talk about probably whenever we do predictions for the week, but I'm excited to see Brady versus Belichick. But we're not going to talk about that right now. But I'm just saying I'm excited for that. Anyways. More on the Rams Bucks. The Super Bowl champs defeated. And
I don't think they were. I think it was.
And the Bucks,
I think,
signing Richard Sherman, like, that's something, right? For the secondary that's been pretty weak, they signed Richard Sherman to a one-year deal.
No, he's like 36. He's not going to be able to keep up with fast receivers.
I don't know. Maybe he'll play zone a lot.
Well, do you think they did that in response to a loss, or was it already happening? Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I know. Apparently, Brady's been recruiting him for a bit, so.
Oh.
I don't think it's response to the loss. I think the fact that they lost that makes it even more, an important thing. But I still think that was in place beforehand.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, I think that's really all you gotta say about the Rams-Bucks game. But before we head off for the night, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but Thursday night football tonight, Jags, Bangles. I think I heard KPM prediction. I said my prediction, 38-17, Bengals, I think.
No, I did not say that.
No, I said that. You said 27-14. I said 38-17, Bengals.
I didn't say 27-14 either.
What did you say? Oh,
I
wait.
said 20-17.
No, that was Goose. Goose said 27-14 or 13.
I said 2017.
Yeah. Goose said 27-14. Okay. You said 2017. I said 38-17. Now I'm thinking 38-14 actually, but we'll see. Jam, Aaron, even Finn. Any of you guys?
Let's hear from Finn. We haven't heard from Finn the entire time.
By the way, guys.
You're
real
not
quick.
You're not Finns.
Not Finn.
I know. I'm saying real quick.
Oh,
sorry.
Fine.
What's the subject? Sorry.
Game tonight.
Easy dub for the Bengals. Easy dub.
Spread.
I would say the Jags have a
7.5
chance
spread.
since both teams are kind of mid. But what I saw from the Bengals last week was a really good defense. And Joe Burrow, when his weapons are actually not dropping catches. So I think it's an easy dub for the Bengals. But it's not going to be a blowout.
But, okay, the spread is... hold on. The spread is 7.5. Bengals are favored. Higher or lower than above or below the spread? And score prediction.
Okay. So definitely above the spread. And I think the score is going to be 27-14.
Wow, you and Goose think exactly alike. Wow. You guys had the same prediction. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you guys both said 27-14. Bengals. I said 38-17. Now kind of leaning towards 38-14, but we're still going to go with 38-17. And KPM said a closer 20-17. Aaron, any thoughts? Jam, any thoughts?
I'm going with the Bengals, but I'm taking the Jags against the spread.
Okay, so you think it's going to be a closer game?
Yep.
Not a blowout. Any score prediction?
69-68.
Ooh.
Love it.
Close. Okay. Aaron, any thoughts?
Yeah, I had said it was gonna be close, and I have the Jags. I have the Bengals winning, but only by 7.
Oh
Only
yeah,
by
yeah, you
7.
said that. Yeah.
17-10, my prediction.
Okay. Well.
You know what? You know what? You know what? I'm gonna be crazy.
He's taking
for
the
once.
Jags. He's taking the Jags.
I'm gonna be crazy for once. I'm gonna take the Jags in an upset.
You think Trevor
Oh, God.
Lawrence will get his first win?
Because everybody's gonna go with the Bengals. I'm gonna rep the Jags.
Me too. Me too.
Wait, what?
Me too. Me too.
All right. Well, I think I have to change.
Okay.
I think I have to change my prediction to 69-0 Bengals. Actually.
Okay, so now it's going to be the Jaguars are going to win 23-17.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
We'll see.
I'm changing mine as well, and I have the Jags winning 38-13. I don't know how that score's gonna happen, but yeah.
Okay.
38.
I'm gonna stick with my 38-17 Bengals. Yeah, that's going to be it. What? Okay, that's gonna be it for the last drive, episode 6. Hopefully our Bengals Jags prediction is correct. Have fun watching the game, and hopefully we can get our prediction for the rest of the week up before Sunday's games. So, see you next time.